Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that's quietly changing the game for one of the most, let's face it, tedious parts of any IT job: documentation. We're talking about local large language models and how they're making life for developers and ops teams a whole lot easier. So let's just dive right in. But first, just imagine this for a second. What if your next set of API docs could literally write themselves? What if you could generate technical specs in minutes, not hours? And here's the kicker: do it all without sending a single byte of your sensitive code out to the cloud. Well, look, that's not some sci-fi future anymore. It's the reality we're exploring today. Okay, let's be real. Documentation is a universal pain point. We all know it. It's that one task that's always super important, but never feels urgent, and it just silently drains our most valuable resource, time. And how much time are we talking about? Well, get this. Studies show that developers can spend up to 30% of their time just on documentation. That's like 12 hours a week, a day and a half. That could be spent building cool stuff, solving problems, innovating. It's a massive, massive hidden cost. So why is it such a drag? Well, you know how it is. First off, the second you finish writing a doc, it's already starting to get outdated. Then it's fragmented all over the place. A Word doc here, a Confluence page there, some random wiki somewhere else. And now, with cloud AI tools, there's a very real security risk. I mean, sending your secret sauce, your proprietary code, to some third-party server, that's a huge no-go for a lot of companies. All right, so that's the problem, right? We've all felt it. So now let's introduce the solution, the hero of today's story, the local large language model. This is a completely different way of thinking that tackles all those problems head on. So what exactly is a local LLM? Just think of it like your own personal AI assistant, but one that lives and works right there on your own hardware. It could be your laptop, a server in your office, whatever. The most important thing to remember is your data never ever leaves your control. It stays completely private. So let's break down the big differences here. With local AI, data privacy is a given because nothing ever leaves your machine. It works completely offline, which is a total game changer. And instead of getting hit with constant API fees, it's more of a one-time hardware cost, which can be way more predictable for budgeting. And hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. These tools are out there right now, ready to use. You've got a Llama, which is awesome for getting started. It's super easy to set up. Then there are heavy hitters like Llama 3.2 or more specialized models like Mistral, which is fantastic for summarizing text. And of course, Code Llama, which, as the name suggests, is built specifically to understand and generate code. Okay, so we get what they are. Now for the fun part. How are people actually using these things in the real world? How are teams turning this tech into a real-world transformation for their workflows? Let's start with a real-world result. Check this out. A startup in Bangalore put a local LLM to work and saw a 70% drop in the time they spent on docs. That's huge. But look at that second number, a 90% improvement in consistency. That's the real magic. It means they're getting better, more reliable docs, not just faster ones. So here's a classic use case. You can use tools like Repo Agent to just point at a codebase and poof, it automatically generates complete API documentation. I'm talking of function descriptions, what every single parameter does, and even copy-paste ready code examples. A job that used to take hours of tedious manual work now happens in minutes. Now, for all the ops people out there, this one is a really big deal. You can feed your monitoring logs or your incident reports into a local LLM, and it will spit out a clear, step-by-step runbook. So you're turning all that reactive data into a proactive guide for the next time something goes wrong. You're getting ahead of the problem. You've been there, I've been there, we've all been there, staring at some ancient 50-page technical spec for a legacy system that no one really understands anymore. Well, a local LLM can actually read that whole thing and give you the Cliffs Notes version, a digestible summary that unlocks all that knowledge that was basically trapped in a digital filing cabinet. Now this might be the most powerful application of all. By using something called a RAG system, it stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, you're basically giving your AI a library card to your company's knowledge. It reads everything first. This turns your entire pile of documents into a smart, interactive knowledge base. You can literally ask it questions in plain English like, hey, how do we handle user authentication? And it gives you an instant, accurate answer pulled directly from your own docs. It's amazing. So you can see the potential here, right? It's huge. Let's just quickly recap the three core advantages that make this whole local approach so compelling, specifically for documentation. Number one, and I cannot stress this enough, is security. Total data security. Your code, your configurations, your internal memos, all of it, it stays within your four walls. For anyone in finance, healthcare, or with any kind of sensitive intellectual property, this isn't just a nice to have, it is an absolute must have. Second is deep customization. You can actually fine-tune these models on your own internal documents. That means the AI learns your company's jargon, your specific coding standards, your preferred style. The output isn't generic AI speak. It's tailored to sound just like it came from your team. And third, offline access. This sounds simple, but it's a huge practical advantage. If you're working in a secure, air-gapped facility, or heck, just on a plane with spotty Wi-Fi, your workflow doesn't grind to a halt. The tool just keeps on working, no internet required. All right, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds fantastic, but how do I actually get started? It might seem a little intimidating, but trust me, the path to getting this up and running is clearer than you might think. Here's a simple little roadmap to follow. First up, just install a runner. Like we said, Llama is the easiest place to start. Step 2, you use a framework, something like LangChain, to connect that model to your data. Third, and this is super important, start small. Go for a quick win. Automate a simple task like generating code comments. And finally, when you're ready, you can scale up by building a searchable database with something like ChromaDB, which makes all your docs easily queryable by the AI. So, I'll leave you with this last question to think about. We've got to stop seeing documentation as this static, dead thing we have to do. What if it became an intelligent, interactive asset for your entire organization? If your docs could answer questions, write themselves, and stay up to date automatically, what new doors would that open for your team? The future of documentation is already here, and it's run your own machine.